guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 19 updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Devin Veering. Devin, thank you so much for your support. You're so awesome. And if you guys want to be house guest of the day like Devin, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Okay, so yesterday they had the Power Veto competition. I believe it was hosted by Kevin, unless he was just dressed up like a bunch of grapes for fun, which is a possibility. But it must have been the memory one where, like, when you get it wrong, that whole glitter paint bomb explodes in your face, because everybody was covered in that who competed, except for the winner. So the players were Jess, Ramses, Josh, Cody, Jason, and Christmas. And yes, Christmas did get to play this time. They wrapped up her cast in a garbage bag so it wouldn't get all glitter paint bomby. And she was actually the first one out. But the winner of this was Jess. It's a big week for her. So Jess and Cody were celebrating up in the HOH room. She's like, we earned it. We got that halting hex. We got that HOH. We got that POV. So Cody is telling her all about how Mark was kissing his butt earlier when they were talking in the kitchen, and he's like, I still don't freaking trust Mark. We might not even be friends after this, because how am I supposed to be friends with somebody that freaking turned their back on me that hard? So Jess was like, yeah, Mark was really pooping his pants during that battle back. He was nervous that Cody would come back in the house, and Jess had to calm him down. She had to tell him, like, it's gonna be okay. Cody's not gonna kill you if he comes back. Just chill. So on an unrelated note, Cody does know now that Jess has the temptation. She probably told him, like, while the feeds were still down, but we didn't know about that. So he's like, yeah, Mark also told me that he thinks that you have the temptation. And Cody says that he tried to redirect that and be like, oh, I think it's Raven. So Cody knows about it. All right. So then Paul was in the storage room with Raven, and he doesn't think that Jess is going to use the veto because she doesn't want to ruffle any more feathers. So Paul says, that's great. Our plan is a go. And their plan, if you didn't watch yesterday's spoiler, is to vote out Ramses, even though Cody and Jess want Josh out. So they're going to do a little flip-flop floaterville. So they feel like they have the votes to pull this off, and they're realizing, like, yeah, Jess and Cody are going to be mad, but oh well. So Paul has a similar conversation with Mark, and Mark says, like, hey, I just want you to know that nothing has changed between us, even though Cody's back now. That's super sketchy, but Paul was just like, yeah, I know, whatever. Okay, so then in other news, Christmas got water under her cast. It wasn't during the competition. It was when she was trying to clean up after and take a shower. She had tucked the garbage bag inside of the top of the cast, and that allowed water to get in there. She should have tied it on her leg. Ugh. So there was water in there. She's trying to blow dry it. I don't know if that actually worked or if she's gonna have to get another cast. Woo! Okay, break out that freaking cast drill. Woo, that thing scares me. Okay, so anyway, this is really interesting. Jason approached Alex in the money bedroom, and he's like, hey, are you positive we shouldn't switch sides and work with Cody and Jess? So Alex is like, we cannot do that. Nobody likes them. They're working with Mark and Elena right now. And guess what? Mark and Elena are going to be the next ones to go because they're so close to them. We can't trust Jessica. We can't trust Mark. They're both sketchy. So no, I don't think we should flip. And Jason's like, okay, just checking. So then some other people filter into the money bedroom. Kevin, Christmas, Josh, and then Paul is in there. He starts giving out instructions for the week. So he tells everybody, act like you're voting out Josh. He tells Josh to cry and keep acting sad because he doesn't want to give Jess any reason to change the nominations, because he's like, whoa, we can pull off this freaking blind side, get rid of Ramses, who we know Paul has been targeting for weeks now anyway. He's been trying to get Ramses up on the block and get rid of him, so this is his golden opportunity. So he just has to make sure that the veto is not used. So then Josh is like, yeah, sounds good. So he goes to the Apple Lounge. He's doing this freaking monologue for the cameras, and he thinks he's going to have everybody's votes this week except for Cody, Mark, and Elena, who do not realize this whole resistance movement is rising up. So he's like, those three and Jess are all going to crap their pants when he stays this week. He's going to play it off all week like he's going home, and then he's going to go off on them and call them out in his speech on Thursday. He said he's going to stand up on that couch. Who's was he, freaking Tom Cruise on Oprah? What the hell? So he's saying Mark is a flip-flopper, he's shady, and he can't wait to blow up his game on Thursday because Mark's word is caca. Okay, ow! I can just give myself a paper cut. Anyway, Prank City continues in the Big Brother house. Alex took a page out of Jason's book, or sorry, not Jason, James from last season and the season before. He was hiding in a freaking, I'm losing it. She was hiding in a trash bag in the storage room. She got Kevin and Elena pretty good. I think Kevin called her a little shithead. And then they tried to pull it off on Mark, and Mark walks in and he's just like, hey Alex, where'd you put the cookies you made? He was not fazed at all. Alright, back to strategy chat. Money bedroom. Paul, Kevin, Jason, and Alex. Paul's got some more information to share with his crew minions. He says he thinks that next week is going to be a double eviction, and obviously they'll be targeting Cody. Is it a double eviction though? Because Julie didn't say anything, and usually she warns us a week ahead of time. But anyway, Paul knows because he's played this game before. So he's like, yeah, obviously we're going after Cody. And for this week, he's telling them, don't be pulling any crazy shit with the votes because Cody, Mark, and Elena are all going to be voting Josh out. And if we can stay together 7 strong and vote out Ramses, what are they going to do? Be mad at all 7 of us? Yeah. So Paul's like, I would like Josh to win HOH because he feels like he wouldn't put any of them up, and at the same time he's going to go after the other side, Mark and Cody, Jessica, and Elena. So he's feeling pretty good about that. And then Kevin kind of changes the direction of conversation a little bit. He's like, hey, Christmas mentioned to me that your safety's over. Is that true? And Paul's just like, why'd she freaking bring that up? Ooh, awkward. Okay, so then guess who walks in? Christmas, or wheels in. So she joins them, and she's like, I don't think that nominations are going to change unless they're trying to take out somebody like Mark, because they don't have the numbers to pull off a big backdoor move. And that is true. Like, a lot of people are wondering on the outside why Jessica isn't trying to get rid of, like, Paul or somebody like that this week, a big target. She doesn't have the numbers, and she doesn't even realize it, but she doesn't have the numbers to take out Josh this week even, so her hands are kind of tied right now. Alright, so then, the moment we've all been waiting for. Finally, a booze delivery! Woo! Okay, so Big Brother gave them 2 bottles of wine and 6 beers. Jess also had some beer from her HOH basket, but she was not sharing that with anybody besides Cody. So Kevin went in that storage room and chugged a whole beer immediately, crushed it before most of the other house guests even got in there. So then Christmas took a sip of Ramsey's beer, and she gotta stop that from Big Brother, because guys, she's on freaking like painkillers and stuff for her foot. So they're like, you can't be drinking that. It's not good. Alright, so she and Josh were the only ones who weren't allowed to drink last night, because Josh is still a have-not. That sucks. Alright, so then Cody and Jess go upstairs to drink her HOH beer, and they are just like, oh my god, this is just another example of Paul running the show here, because he was like literally taking beer out of people's hands to use it in this sangria that he was making. He dumped all the wine and like the rest of the beers into this sangria concoction. So they're like, oh my god, he's literally taking the beer out of people's hands, and they're going along with it. So then Mark and Paul go up to the HOH room, and Paul's like, hey guys, it was a classy move drinking the HOH beer and letting the peasants have the other booze. And he didn't mean that in a snarky way, he was being serious. So they're all like laughing about it. Ha ha ha, great. Paul leaves, Mark sticks around. They're talking about like the HOH competition and how solid Jess was in that. And then they're talking about the votes this week. They're talking about Josh, and Jess asked, is everybody on board with the vote this week? And Mark is like, yeah, we don't have anything to worry about. Like, Josh is going. So then he's saying it probably won't be unanimous because like somebody will like throw a hinky vote in there to try to stir things up, or everybody's gonna turn on you. And he's still saying like Josh is definitely gonna go. And I'm pretty sure Mark actually believes that. He and Elena are in the dark right now about the votes. They still think that Josh is going. Okay, so then Mark says that he wants to win HOH next week and ensure them all jury. Okay, so then Raven and Matt were talking in the rose bedroom about this week's vote, and they're a little bit torn here. Raven very much wants to vote out Ramses, stick with Paul and his crew, and Matt is like, I prefer to respect the wishes of the HOH, evict Josh. And Matt's saying, like, what, we're just gonna lie to Jess's face when she asks us how we're gonna be voting this week? And Raven's like, well, I don't think that Jess or Cody are even gonna ask us how we're gonna vote. She might be right. I don't know. I could see it either way. But then Matt's like, yeah, but think about this. Say they don't ask us, whatever. We vote out Ramses and go against them. What if then Cody, Mark, or Elena win the next HOH and take one of us out the week before jury? You know that's the last thing that Matt wants. He just wants to make it to jury, and then he doesn't give a crap. So he's saying, we're already planning on sending Ramses out next week anyway. Let's just take out Josh now, do what they want, take out Ramses, and then we'll probably be in the jury, and it's all good. And Raven's just like, no. So Matt is like, whatever. Like, I'm down to do what the group wants. I will vote however you guys want, but at the same time, he feels like this is a riskier move for them. He's saying it's good for the group, but it's bad individually, because one of them could be the next target. So then Raven's like, Cody and Jessica are going to come after us anyway, even if we do vote out Josh. I don't know that that's true. But then Paul comes in, and Matt brings up his concerns, and Paul's like, I wouldn't worry about that next HOH competition. It's just Cody that we have to worry about because Mark sucks at competitions. Elena will probably throw it because she's not going to want to put up her own friends. So it's fine. So Paul says Cody isn't that good at competitions. What comps has he won? Really? So then Matt starts to list all the competitions that Cody has won. And Paul's like, yeah, well, I'm willing to take the heat for the group if this goes south, like, whatever, I'll go home. And Matt's like, well, I don't want you to go home. So Paul says he can beat Cody in a competition. And he says, I know that for reasons I have not disclosed. What the actual fuck does that mean? What does that mean? How does he know that he can beat Cody in a competition? What is going on here? Is that some sort of like production interference? Is that like he's been holding out on everybody and he's been throwing shit? I don't know, but it sounded really sketchy. So then Paul is saying it's better to keep Josh. We can get rid of him whenever we want. And we should keep him around because Jess has told people that Josh is messing up her game and distracting her. So why not keep him around? And Ramses, if he stays, he's just going to be a number for Jess and Cody and all them. They could very easily scoop up Ramses too, but they're not even trying. So he's saying, yeah, Josh will be a target in front of us. We got to keep him around. So Matt is still saying it's not the best move for us as individuals. When did he wake up? He's going against Paul now? What? Somebody freaking must have changed his batteries. I don't know. But the game talk ended when Ramses walked in. Okay, so then last night, Josh was in his sad mode as instructed. He had the hood up, the sunglasses on. He was talking to Jess in the bathroom, and we missed the beginning of this conversation, but it seems like Jess basically told her that he knows he'll be leaving this week, and he just wants to enjoy his last few days in the house. So Jessica's like, that's great, Josh. I really respect that. And she says it's really going to be up to you because she's not going to start any arguments with him. So if he wants to enjoy his last few days, you go for it, little buddy. Ooh, he's trolling her so hard. So then last night, Cody and Jessica had a game chat on the hammock, and they are not happy with Alex and Jason right now. Cody is pissed that Alex put Jess up on the block last week, even if she was just a pawn, because she was in serious danger there, and he says that Alex was supposed to keep her safe once he was gone. And he's noticed that Alex has not been talking to him as much since he got back. So he's also not happy that Jason voted to evict Cody. He had assumed that Jason was one of the minority votes the week that he was evicted, but Jason revealed that he voted him out. So then Alex and Jason are definitely on their radar right now. And they were also saying they don't trust Mark or Raven anymore. They agree that Raven loves the gossip, she loves the drama, and they're saying she's not the America sweetheart that they initially thought she was. Oh boy. Okay, so I guess Cody and Jessica are really feeling like it's them against everyone right now. So this morning, Josh was ranting to Matt, and again, he's saying, like, I can't wait to go off on Mark, Cody, and Jess after the vote, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be so great, standing on couches, whatever. And he says that he doesn't care if he does all that and then, like, Cody wins HOH and just puts him back up on the block again. He doesn't care. So Matt just keeps telling him, yeah, that's great. Just make sure you're acting like you're going home because we can't have that veto used this week. All right, so then Cody and Jess were up in the HOH room planning for next week, and Cody says he just really wants to win that HOH, and his plan would be to backdoor Paul. Put him up on the block with, like, somebody like Raven as a pawn and just take him out. So Jessica's saying, like, yeah, that's great, but we're going to need to make a deal with one of the sides of the house because we can't just do that move and then they come after us next. Like, we need some protection from somebody. So she's like, maybe we can strong arm them and be like, hey, if you don't work with us, we're going to put 2 of you up on the block. Strong arming doesn't usually work in this game. But then they were also planning on what they're going to do if they don't win the next HOH, and that's when they feel it's time to start telling people about the temptation, but they want to, like, kind of lie about what it actually does to freak people out. So it's basically just like a reset. Like, the halting hex means that the eviction will be stopped. I guess they'll restart the whole week, I'm thinking, with, like, a new HOH, new nominees, whatever, all of that. So she wants to play it off like it allows her to pick the new nominees and then they evict one of those, but that's not how it works. But that's what she wants to tell people so that they will do her bidding. We'll see if that works for them. I don't know. But today, they also had the have-not reveal a little bit later this week, and the have-nots are the first 3 people out of the HOH competition, which means Kevin, Mark, and Paul. Ooh! And Josh is still a have-not from last week because he got the have-not extension chip. So Mark is saying he's going to go for that temptation, but Big Brother hasn't given him the key yet. It'll be interesting because if he gets the extension chip, that's going to be 3 weeks in a row for him. Ooh, and he is super freaking grumpy on Slop, so it's going to be interesting. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and until tomorrow for the veto ceremony, much love.